What's good, y'all? This marks the first video that I'm making on the 2023-2024 NBA season. We spent all offseason speculating, and now we can just sit back and talk hoops. Opening night was cool, you know, watching the Nuggets get their ring, that was really dope. It was a good game back and forth between them and the Lakers, and then the late game after that of the Warriors and Suns was also a cool game. But my favorite day was right after that, where all the other teams played and we got to watch a bunch of basketball. And there was a common theme throughout almost every single game last night that I was watching, and that was a dominant performance from the center position. It was only a few years ago where it seemed like the NBA was going to phase out the center position totally. Of course, you know, everyone thinks back to 6'5" PJ Tucker running center for the Houston Rockets, where they just wanted to go all out, 5 out, you know, you're shooting a 3, you're shooting a layup, or it's nothing. And other teams started to flirt with the idea as well. What comes to mind first is the Hampton 5 of the Warriors, you know, where they ran Draymond at the 5 position. KD on those Nets teams, he ran the 5 sometimes. And I can't pinpoint the exact switch, but something switched around the league where it seems like we're going the complete opposite direction now, where you have teams running 2 bigs at a time, you know, like the Cavs with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, or the Timberwolves with Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't know what it is, but something about me always has liked the center position. When we're talking about real hoops, I am nowhere near center. I'm not tall whatsoever, but on 2K I play center, so maybe that's where it comes from. But anyways, in this video, I just wanted to talk about all of the dominant performances that we saw across the league by the center position, all in just the second night of the NBA. I want to start off by talking about Dereck Lively, who made his NBA debut last night and put on a performance against the Spurs. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of them being offensive rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, amazing efficiency, only missing 1 shot, and he was a team-high plus 20. In my preseason preview video for the Mavericks, I talked about how Dereck Lively is the perfect center to play next to Luka Doncic. He's athletic, he's a good finisher, he can defend, and he can rebound. That's all you need at the center position when you're playing next to a great passer like Luka Doncic. I want to start by highlighting his rebounding because it really surprised me how good he was at contested rebounding. You know, he is a rookie, only I think like 18 or 19 years old, so his body is still pretty thin. I'm sure he'll, you know, work his way into that NBA body as most players do. But right now he looks kind of on the skinny side, but he uses that 7'1" frame to perfection, reaching over people. He one time, I think it was Zach Collins, boxed him out really well, and he just grabbed it right over him like it was nothing. And he's able to use the combination of his super big and long body and his athleticism to just put easy putbacks back. You know, I forget who put it up. I think it was maybe Kyrie, missed a layup, and he just grabbed the ball and dunked it in one fluid motion. No wasted time at all. It's almost impossible to block that at that point. He just seemed to seamlessly just fit into this Dallas team and just get to scoring immediately. It seems like he and Luka have really been working on some chemistry, or if they haven't, then they need to start because it's already budding through 1 game. The one slight issue in this amazing debut for the rookie was the fact that he had 4 fouls. You know, you want those fouls to be down a little bit, especially being at that center position. You want him to be able to be out on the court and anchor that defense, grab those rebounds, you know, be that perfect center that he is. He can't do that unless he's on the court. And I know that was his biggest red flag, if you want to call it, coming out the draft, was the fact that he, you know, got into foul trouble a lot at Duke. But it was his first game, and I do believe that he can, you know, work his way out of that. I'm a fan of the Knicks, and I've watched Mitchell Robinson go from a player that literally could not stay on the court for an extended period of time to someone that can do it at least to his extent. You know, it's a bad example because he almost fouled out of this first game, but he's gotten a lot better is my point, and I think Dereck Lively can get a lot better at the fouls as well. Next center I want to talk about is second-year player Mark Williams, who had an incredible game in the Hornets' upset over the Hawks. 13 points, 15 rebounds, an assist, 3 steals and a block, incredible efficiency, and 100% from the free throw line. Very similar to Dereck Lively, Mark Williams is a super low maintenance rim runner guy. You know, he's got the athleticism, he's got the strength, he can rebound, defend, and finish. A perfect, you know, combination for the center, in my opinion. This is Mark's first time being the full-time starting center for the Hornets, and I think it's going to do him wonders and really allow him to break out into his own. In his rookie season, he really wasn't playing too much. He started a few games here and there, but nothing really crazy. He was competing for playing time between Kai Jones and Nick Richards. Now Kai Jones is not on the Hornets roster anymore, so it's really just him and Nick Richards. Obviously, he's beating out Nick Richards for that starting spot. What really stood out to me with Mark Williams was the fact that when he was on the court, he owned the paint. Everything that was going on in the paint went through Nick Richards, whether that was his rebounding. If you didn't get a body on him, he used his strength and his big body to grab that rebound offensively or defensively, close out possessions. And he was going up against Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks, who, you know, Trae Young is an amazing pick and roll player, arguably one of the best in the entire NBA. And Mark Williams had a few possessions where he was really locking up that pick and roll. You know, Trae would come down, he would be in drop coverage, showing on Trae so he couldn't shoot, recover right back to Clint Capella. He got a few steals off doing that, blocked some shots in the paint as well. All around an amazing first game from Mark Williams. If he can keep the rebounding and the defense up, LaMelo Ball will make the offense super easy for him. Another second-year center who's ready to take the full-time starting spot is Pistons center Jalen Duren. In the close loss to the Heat, Jalen put up 17 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, really filling up the stat sheet. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this summer, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren were on Team USA's select team, you know, the team that scrimmages against Team USA and stuff. And in one of those scrimmages, Cade Cunningham was trying to be Luka Doncic for, you know, the scout team for Team USA. And he was running a lot of pick and rolls with Jalen Duren, as Luka Doncic does. And there were reports that that pick and roll was looking super scary. Their chemistry was on point. All of that translated to the regular season, at least in this first game. I know right now we're highlighting the centers and everything, but Cade Cunningham had an incredible game against the Heat. 30 points and 9 assists. 4 out of those 9 assists, almost half of his total assists, were to Jalen Duren, and a lot of them were in the pick and roll. I know Jalen's only 19, but he has a grown man body. He is super strong and solid, sets those hard picks, and then Cade Cunningham, being the amazing passer and ball handler that he is, can just go right around him, get down to the paint, drop down pass, lob pass with his athleticism, whatever it is. Jalen Duren can finish through contact, do all of that. And he also uses athleticism to get out and transition a lot. He moves super fast, especially for a center that's almost 7 foot tall. He was just able to run the floor super fast and just get down there. Easy dunk, get right back on defense. Another aspect where his speed and athleticism came into play was he had 2 chase down blocks this game. Now the Heat did score on both of those possessions with the trailer, but just the fact that he's showing that effort and just sprinting back on defense, getting those blocks, you know, that's what you want to see from your starting center. You want effort, you want the dirty work plays, you want defense. And speaking of defense, let's pivot to the complete opposite side and talk about Alperen Sengun. Now, I'm sure it was a very rough game for Rockets fans, but at least you can look on the bright side and see Alperen Sengun shining through the rough. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a team-high -2. I mean, when you get blown out like that, a -2 really isn't too bad. Alperen Sengun really is one of the most talented offensive bigs we have in the entire NBA. I don't really think that's up for dispute. He was showing glimpses of everything this last game. Really in the post-up is where I think he was looking the best, where he would post up and he had one move, I think it was on Mo Wagner, where he just was really low under the basket, hit him with one shoulder, up, pivot, and just easy lay. Like, his pivot foots are incredible. His touch is incredible. He was showing the mid-range a little bit too. He had one where it was a turnaround jumper cash. He had one where he caught it on the elbow and just kind of, he looked really awkward while he did it, but like one leg Dirk kind of fade away like that. But over it all, the thing that shined the most for Sengun was his playmaking. He had a few really nice passes. Him and Jabari seemed like they're getting a little bit of chemistry going in that front court. You know, Jabari would cut to the basket and Sengun would hit him right on the dime. A few times he had that. He had one cross-court pass where he just looked up and saw Reggie Bullock over there and just kind of like one arm passed it all the way over to him wide open for a 3. There was one time where he was posting up. He seen the double come. Jalen Green just had the slightest cut, just move into space. Sengun hit him right there. Easy layup. Just those little things that he could do to get wide open shots for this Rockets team is super important. And I know it's only been a bunch of young centers so far in the video, but I do want to give a shout out to Zubac, who had an incredible game. Really underrated center. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. Russell Westbrook made Zubac's life as easy as possible last night. Every single time Russ came down the court, it seemed like he just wanted to get the ball to Zubac, and Zubac would catch it and finish. Whether that was a post hook, a dunk, you know, he just got the ball and was like, I bet, yeah, this is easy. Thanks, I'm in a great spot, Russ. Thank you for that. And with Zubac being 7 foot and not just like, you know, a Derek Lively 7 foot, like I was saying, how he's kind of skinny, he is super solid in his body. If you don't put a body on him, he will dominate you down low, whether that's grabbing rebounds and putting it up for an easy or blocking shots, whatever it is. If you don't have the right matchup, he will dominate you and have a game like this. You know, if you look at the Trailblazers centers, you have DeAndre Ayton, who's struggled with, you know, being engaged at times and stuff like that. And then they have Robert Williams, who's undersized. When you have that combination, yeah, Zubac is going to dominate. And speaking of a dominant interior force, Domantas Sabonis had himself a game last night. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of them being offensive rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block. There is not much Sabonis can't do on the court. The combination of Sabonis' size, skill, and touch, it really makes him almost impossible to stop once he gets down low. Last night he was going up against Walker Kessler, who's, regarded as one of the better defending centers in the NBA, one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. And he was just going at him possession after possession after possession. Don't get me wrong, Walker Kessler blocked him, I think once, but almost every other time Sabonis was going through him, finishing over him, grabbing offensive rebounds over him, kicking it out, doing whatever. He was just dominating Walker Kessler down low. Sabonis led the league in rebounding last season, and he's keeping that up. A lot of it comes on the offensive rebound as well, and every single offensive rebound that Sabonis got last night, he either had an open layup for himself or a kick out, and it's a wide open three. His passing is incredible. He knows exactly where everyone is on the court as soon as he gets that. He had one nasty one where he got the offensive rebound. It was just a behind the back right to Harrison Barnes, knockdown cash for 3. Having your center be that good at passing, it's really incredible. I'm still a believer in Sabonis. I'm still a believer in the Kings, and if he keeps playing like this, they'll have a very successful season. And as a Knicks fan, it really pains me to do this, but the last center we will be talking about is Kristaps Porzingis, who had his debut for the Boston Celtics last night. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. He hit 5 threes. He was all over the court for Boston. Porzingis was amazing in the first quarter. He had 15 out of his 30 in that first quarter. He started off with 2 dunks. I think his first bucket was actually an alley-oop, but he had 2 dunks, and then he was just flowing, hit 3 threes right after that in the first quarter. But with Porzingis, he's such a dynamic guy where he can, shoot the 3, obviously, so you have to close out hard on him. But he also has the ability to dribble the ball and attack that closeout, drive back to the basket. Don't forget, he's 7'3", so he will be able to finish over you as well. And because he is such a tough cover, he got Mitchell Robinson in foul trouble, so that made Isaiah Hartenstein have to come out, and Isaiah Hartenstein was fouling him a decent amount as well. And even though he did most of his scoring in the first quarter, throughout the rest of the game, he was blocking shots left and right. He had one insane block on RJ Barrett. That was the picture I used in the, when I showed his stats. I don't know what RJ was thinking going up on him, but he just sent that so far back. He was not having any of that. And he also hit what could arguably be the dagger last night. It was a tie game with a minute and a half left. He hit a 3, put the Boston up 3, of course, and then after that, the Knicks it was out of reach. What a start for centers all around the NBA. I went through all of this without even mentioning that on opening night, the reigning Finals MVP Nikola Jokic, who's a center by the way, had a 30-point triple-double. What do you mean right now? And later tonight, from when I'm recording this video, the reigning MVP Joel Embiid is going to be playing, and I'm sure he'll have a crazy stat line as well. The NBA in the center position, when it looked like it was dying out, it is in a fantastic spot right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.